Welcome all. Today, in the subject called alternate fuels and energy system, we are going to see a topic called properties of alternate fuel. If you are about to choose an alternate fuel for an engine or a vehicle, that particular fuel should meet the basic properties of a conventional fuels. Such properties are auto ignition temperature. So what do you mean by auto ignition temperature? Auto ignition temperature is a minimum temperature of a substance to initiate self-sustained combustion independent of any ignition source. Next one, boiling temperature. The boiling temperature is a temperature at which the transformation from liquid to vapor phase occurs on a substance at atmospheric pressure. Next one, cetane number. Cetane rating, also known as a cetane number, is a measurement of a quality or the performance of a diesel fuel, expressed as a percentage of cetane in a mixture of cetane and 1 methyl naphthalene of the same quality as the given fuel. Next property is flammable limits. The flammable limits apply generally to vapor and are defined as the concentration range in which a flammable substance can produce a fire or explosion when an ignition source such as a spark or open flame is present. The concentration is generally expressed as percentage fuel by volume. Next important point is flash point. The flash point, the lowest temperature at which a liquid, usually a petroleum product, that will form a vapor in the air near its surface that will flash or briefly ignite on exposure to an open flame. The flash point is general indication of the flammability or combustibility of a fuel. This diagram shows the flash point of a gasoline and a fuel oil. You can clearly see in gasoline there is a vapor emitted from its surface, but in fuel oil there is no any vapor. So we can say that in gasoline the vapor is responsible for creating or the creation of the flash when an external source is given on its surface. Next important point is calorific value. Calorific value is defined as the amount of calories generated when a unit amount of substance is completely oxidized and is determined using the bomb calorimeter. Next property, latent heat of vaporization. The latent heat of vaporization is the quantity of the heat absorbed by a fuel on passing between liquid and gaseous phase. Next, and another important property is octane number. Octane number, also called as anti-knock rating, measure of the ability of a fuel to resist knocking when ignited in a mixture with air in the cylinder of an internal combustion engine. The octane number is the percentage by volume of isooctane in the mixture of isooctane heptane that matches the fuel being tested in a standard test engine. Stoichiometric air fuel ratio. The exact air and fuel ratio required to completely combust a fuel to water and carbon dioxide. Next important property is pour point and cloud point. The lowest temperature at which a petroleum product will just flow when tested under standard conditions. And ground point is the temperature at which a petroleum product just shows a cloud or haze of wax crystal when it is cool under standard test condition. The both pour point and cloud point shows the characteristics of a fuel when the temperature is reduced. Volatility. The property of a liquid that defies its evaporative characteristics and important for a combustive fuel. You can see in the image that there is two different kind of liquid in a beaker. One fuel is being volatile, another one is non-volatile. Where the volatile molecule is being evaporated, this evaporative characteristics of a fuel will define its combustion characteristics. And viscosity, the measure of resistance to flow of a liquid, important for consistency, injector flow, and good atomization. And density, mass of a substance per unit volume, important for consistency and good fuel economy. Higher density produces more power and more stroke. The term or the property viscosity and density are interlinked properties. So here you can see the different kind of fuels with the different kind of densities and viscosity. So if a fluid has more density, you can see the resistance to flow. So the density is a direct dependent variable when compared to that viscosity. And ash content, fuels may contain small amount of ash, forming materials such as suspended solids and soluble organometallic component. Can cause damage to close tolerance of fuel injection and abrasive wear on engine components such as piston rings and cylinder walls. And finally, carbon residue, that indicates the tendency of a fuel to form carbonaceous deposits. In brief, the carbon residue of a fuel is the tendency to form carbon deposit under high temperature condition in an inert atmosphere. So next one, corrosivity, to minimize attack on metals in the distribution and storage network and in the engine fuel system. Next, aromatic content, reducing aromatic hydrocarbons composition will reduce emissions. Oxidation stability, it refers to the tendency of a fuel to react with oxygen at temperature nearer ambient mechanism. It describes the relative susceptibility of a fuel to degradation by oxidation. And finally, rate vapor pressure. It is a common measure of a volatility of gasoline and other petroleum products. It is defined as the absolute vapor pressure exerted by the vapor of a liquid and any dissolved gases or moisture at 37.8 degree Celsius. So these are the different type of properties which a fuel should possess or an alternate fuel should possess. Thank you.